Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Sunday the 7th of June. Let's have a look at what the cards want you to know today. I'm using the Osho Zen deck and I'm going to shuffle the cards a couple of times. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. We've got stress, the 7 of Wands, aloneness. Wow, that's amazing. We've had the Hermit so often lately. The Hermit is about taking time for yourself and trying to figure out what's in front of you, what the path is. I love this card. If you've ever been in the fog and walked around, it's such a strange feeling. Okay, final card. We have silence. 15, 16, 17. That's the moon, usually. Okay, so all together, we've got the 7 of Wands. This monkey, yikes. The Hermit, and then the moon. All right. So the 7 of Wands, trying to juggle too many things at the same time. You care about each and every one of them. You're trying your best. You're dancing as fast as you can, but it's just not enough. It's when you, like when you're doing a video and you're just so excited about something, you become super verbose and you say all these things, and you should really just, instead of caring about each extra word that you're putting in there, just shorten it down and try and focus on 1 or 2, because you can't juggle 7 things at once. And you're driving yourself kind of nuts with several arms here in terms of taking on too much. You feel it's your nature to take on too much. You can do more than other things. Other people are burnt out because they're not you. Other people fail because they don't have your commitment and your dedication. You know, a lot of people think that, you know, it's all right for you, but that's not me. I'm different. I can do stuff. That in itself feels very natural to a lot of us, especially those of us who kind of set ourselves up to fail and to beat yourself up. Oh, I haven't done enough. Oh, I couldn't do this, and that's why I shouldn't be at the top. Then, on top of this kind of negative self-talk and this stress that causes, we've got this little monkey here, and that's like the visual definition of Schadenfreude, this to me. It's taking pleasure in the misfortunes of others. So you've got someone, you know, you can see them red-faced and already upset, and they're barely hanging on, and on top of that, you're just going to kind of give them the final jab. Deserves it. I mean, you can see the lead there. So it's not like the monkey doesn't have a reason, but it takes that needle, pops the ball, and everything's going to come crashing down. Once that comes crashing down, so if you do say, I can do everything, I'm not going to slow things down, I will, mine. The red is very much about the self. And the green on top of it is the natural tendency to want to control everything in life. And you can't do that. What happens if you do? Unfortunately, it's likely that will be demonstrated today. That if you take all this stuff on, you're going to find that beyond that, there's something going on inside of you, or there's a different path that is kind of emerging, but you haven't seen it up until now because you've been busy looking at these different candles that you've kept up in the air and the music you've played at the same time. So when things quieten down a little bit, when you face the fear, the moon is often about these hidden fears coming out from the depths. Here we've got this kind of outline of the high priestess, almost, with the moon as her third eye. So some sort of medium or divine, someone who can access divine knowledge, who's always there. And yeah, the fear of being alone, if you face that, both have the mist here. First of all, it's the uncertainty, yes, that helps you, because by being by yourself and being quiet without all the noise of, oh, I'm busy there and I've got the schedule filled and money, and then I'm doing all this social stuff in mine and I have to climb the ladder and on and on and on. Once that's gone, it's like, what am I left with? And if you've been out of touch with yourself for a long time, you may really be surprised with what you find, because you change over time. Things alter. They don't stay the same. Just when you think you've got a hold of it, things change around on you and you have to start all over again. So instead of trying to push that feeling aside all the time, oh no, I'm not alone, I can, I'm going to prove it, I'm going to show how busy I am and all these people in my life and all this work and creative, blah, blah, blah. It's, you know, give it up. Like, once you drop all of that and you're just with yourself, that's what the cards are saying today, it's going to benefit you. So first of all, don't torture yourself. Immediately go on this, oh, I'm going to enjoy the moment today. If I am fearful or if I do feel lonely today, I'm going to breathe into that and see what that's worth, because that kind of feeling is always going to lead to something better on the other side. And it's not taking accountability and kind of trying to duck that feeling. That's what is unhelpful in the end. Whenever you try and duck something, you end up falling all over yourself, because it always catches up with us. What do they say? If deal with your feelings, otherwise they'll feel with you. They'll deal with you. So yeah, breathe into that. And what I mean by that is, if it causes you tension, anxiety, it's like, I'm all alone, or I'm getting up in front of all of these people and I have to speak. Oh no. Then you can feel that anxiety sometimes rising up. Just take a breath and say, this is fine. I'm going to be present and I'm going to do this despite the fear. I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway, Susan Jeffers would say. And then I'm going to find some clarity in that, because I've actually walked the path now, and I will see what I have decided to make of that and how it felt to me, what my personal experience was. And once I've had a personal experience of whatever it is I'm doing, and I get something out of that, that's evidence that good things come from yourself, and that it's not a place that is fearful and that you should be concerned with going. I mean, it's you, for goodness sake. What's scary about you? Nothing. You are you. You're the same as me. You're the same as all of us. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Especially if you're stressing yourself out in life to the point where you're causing problems, you're going to find that your true self is much kinder to you, and that there isn't anything to worry about. If you're this little monk and you dive off the cliff there, and you're like, am I going to fall? I don't know what's at the bottom here. It would make sense that I'm going to fall onto some rocks at the bottom, right? Gravity. But no, if you jump, there's this whole kind of dual dimension thing going on. And the only thing that matters is what you feel and what you imagine to be true. And whatever cliff you dive off, or whatever emotional leap you take, whatever you choose to trust in yourself today, it's going to allow you to dive into a reality of your choosing, where you can actually manifest and build the things that you want, rather than distracting yourself with the things that you feel you ought to do, or the things that you have to do. So it's a real nice opportunity to just throw all of that to the side, all of the stress via other people, via yourself, or the angry kind of the arguments, all of the stuff that's me versus them, or I'm taking pleasure in the negative stuff happening to them, or they're taking pleasure in the negative stuff that's happening to me. It's just a control issue. And rather than playing that game, being by yourself is going to serve you much more, because the silence will help you overcome fear, and it will remind you that inside of you is just a nice, pleasant homecoming. There's nothing to be afraid of, really. So don't be afraid. Today's a good day to practice going to the cinema alone, or going for a walk by yourself, or meditating, or just hanging out with yourself and seeing what it is you like, remembering what it is you actually like to do. Like, imagine that you've been gone on a 10-year journey, and you've come home and it's like, okay, I used to like basketball and all of that stuff before I had the kids or before I started working, and now what is it? I don't like that anymore. I like fine wine, for example. I don't know. That's what I meant at the beginning. You don't stay the same person. And if you look inside of yourself and you create some quiet time, you're able to see who you really are. And you don't have to take what you used to take. You don't need to let yourself be put under pressure. And you know that this is happening. You've done this game before. And you can look at this monkey and say, excuse me, take the needle and say, what do you think you're doing? And to him, same thing, what do you think you're doing? Do you think this is going to end happily? You know better. You know that that this isn't going to end happily. So, face your fears, take some time to yourself, let yourself be inspired. And the inspiration isn't going to come from things that other people provide you with. It's from your source of truth and knowing. Because think of it as this well inside of you that just is infinite. And it's the well of knowing what's right and what isn't. You just have a feeling inside of you. And by me, that sense of conscience, that sense of me, like the purest form of me, the type of feeling you felt like when you think back to when you were 5. At 5, think of praying at 5. What did that feel like, or who did you pray to? And sometimes it's good to go back to a simple notion like that, because we overcomplicate it. Oh, how do I speak to myself? I have to go on an ayahuasca retreat and attain some higher state of consciousness. No, you don't. Why? No. Spare me. Okay, we have 15, 16, 17, and 9 is 26, and 7 is 33. Nice. 33 I count as a master number. 11 is the master number of service. 22 is the master number of the builder, creating something really long-term and significant. And 33 isn't a master number, technically. I see it as the master number of the ascended master, so to speak. So being guided by other kind of energies. So it could be, a spirit guide could be a past version of you, or you living another life in some other dimension. It could be an animal. It could be a man, a Buddhist monk. It could be a sense of just being able to remotely access different places and to fly over the landscape at night, like astral projection. So what they're saying is that you have it within you to recognize that, yes, ascended masters, we can work with Saint Germain and all these higher beings, but you and yourself are a higher being. And I don't think we recognize that enough. It's like, oh yes, I'm striving to become a better person, and you're already a divine being in your own right. You've experienced things that no one else has experienced. You have evidence for certain truths that no one else has. And I really feel that there's some sort of conflict between the real you and what it is you want, and the things that you stress yourself out with. So your own inner kind of monkey sitting on your back, the thing that haunts you, oh, like if you're an alcoholic, oh, where's the next drink coming from? You got to drink with it. That kind of energy. So remember that, yes, you have certain experiences, but that ultimately it's going to come down to you and the decisions you make with your own higher self, or with the guides you work with, or your ascended master, if you work with one in particular. So 33 is really good because you can become the ascended master in your own right, or you can raise your consciousness or raise your vibration. It all sounds very grand. It really isn't, if you ask me. It's just trying to see things from a bigger point of view and trying to see things with more understanding. And then 33 as well, you have all the help in the world. You have all the help in the universe. All you need to do is get into that silent, alone space. You don't have to be alone in a physical sense. You just have to have that inner sense of quiet where you can just say, okay, I'm here, nothing distracts me, and I'm listening. That's a great space to be, and learning how to be quiet and comfortable in that space. I think that's the key. It's as simple as that. It's the feeling of this, that mist, the fog, and being in that, and not trying to clear it or get through it or whatever it is, just being in it. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Have fun. It doesn't have to be, I think, difficult today. I think you can unstress yourself, if anything. So do what brings you a sense of joy. Have a lovely day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website, gregoryscott.com. If you like the video, hit subscribe and share the video online. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.